I'm Ann Morrison,
And I'm Blake Walton. Welcome to.
holding down the fort. I am out on the road with a Broadway tour of Kimberly Akimbo.
And I'm in Sarasota, Florida, holding down the fort. We thought it might be fun for us to share our experiences and discoveries of what it's like for Annie on the road.
And Blake back in Sarasota holding down the fort. Sit back and enjoy.
Hopefully, be part of our conversation.
Hey, Blake, I want to interview you right now because you finally got to see me do the show in Tampa, and I was in West Palm Beach just before
Yes.
that
Yes. Yeah.
with a wonderful bus ride across the state.
hmm
And our son got to join us from Burbank, California with his lovely Kate, which was wonderful.
Yes.
Tell me what you experienced.
Well, this is the first thing I experienced. I want to show you what the center bill looks like right now. You are a cover girl.
Well, I was in Tampa. I'm certainly not in Alabama.
No, and I realize partially, I mean, yes, just to be frank, partially why this is true is because this is a double playbill. It's also for the Christmas story. So they couldn't put Kimberly Akimbo on the cover, so instead they put Kimberly Akimbo on the cover. So you've got, I love
Kimberly
it's
Lavaco.
fun to see.
Kimberly Lavaco's on the cover.
I'm sorry, Kimberly Lavaco. This is challenge, isn't it, for all your interviewers? They
I
say,
know.
play Kimberly Kimbo, don't you?
That's all right because
Lavaco.
Marcus, not Marcus, it was Miguel, before he left. One, he came running out. He's supposed to say, a happy birthday to Kimberly Lavaco. And he went, Kimberly Akimbo. And the rest of the cast has burst out laughing, but I'm dyslexic and I thought it was normal.
That's right. I love it. That's so fun. Um, yeah, first of all, let me preface this by saying that every time I see you on stage, um, and this is true about anyone I know well, um, and I think it's probably true about me as well. I have to absorb the fact that this is a character, um, that um, I, I didn't see Annie on stage, and that says something about your skill. But it's also very strange because I'm meeting this character that I wanted to meet for so long, and I got to do that. Um, I have to say that this is one of the finest things I've ever seen you do,
Oh,
and
thank you.
it's just a matching and a melding of um, very skilled, incredible, lifelong actress who is in a role. I'm calling it a role of a lifetime because it fits so beautifully in your psyche and your character, your physicality. Um, what's delightful about your Kimberly, and I won't make comparisons because I haven't seen the others, but that it's you're small in stature, so it's very easy to see you as a 16-year-old. Um, and there's something about the way you move, even though it progressively gets harder.
Right. She's
Um,
starting to
for her.
age. Right.
And you've talked about that, and I got to see those moments, those very fine-tuned moments. I saw it twice, and that's a great thing because the first time is like, oh my God, I'm seeing this, and here it is. And I was seeing it with Huck and Kate, um, and they were sitting here. Actually, it's here in your minds, but and this is very important.
Oh, yes.
So. And there were a lot of other Sarasotoites in the audience the first on the Tuesday of the opening. And there was beautiful applause when you entered on stage, and that kind of stuff is just the bonus. But I it's a show that if the audience comes to it at all, and you do invite them in very beautifully and easily, it's a show that a beautiful piece of art that really reminds people along the way in very many ways to love life and to absorb life, and especially because this girl has a very limited time.
Mhm. Right.
In fact, she may the average lifetime is 16, and she's turning 16 in this show, and she's well aware of her life. And we see that there are moments that Jessica Stone has placed throughout it that highlight Kimberly in silence.
Right. Right.
It's a beautiful staging where we are meant to, for instance, when the kids are all playing cards, sitting on cushions in the library, they're all talking about all the things they're going to do when they get older. And we slowly see Kim just sort of look out and be still.
She was
And
really good about
that's,
that because in the beginning I was responding to the kids,
yeah,
and she said, "No, no, 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 don't respond, and let it sink in." And that's how wonderful she is.
that's
Yeah.
a fine director
Right.
who tells the audience where to look.
Right.
Because we don't have, we hear what the kids are saying, we know they're all enjoying this. Plus, they're playing cards while they're doing it. And when you have stillness on stage, when you and other movement, it's a great way for a director to focus for the audience on that thing.
Right.
And then those who will absorb it will take that. Some
Right.
people just kind of laugh at all the things that the kids are saying, and that's fine. But for those who want to and can really are tuned, they watch your face. Even in, I think people way up in the balcony, if they can't see your features exactly, they still see the stillness, and there's a beauty in that because we're starting to learn. This is very early on in the show. We're starting to learn that she's well aware
Mhm.
of her time. Um, we get some of that in Make a Wish when she breaks this beautiful thing about looking for things that she wants to accomplish and do and see and hear, and then breaks into the most simplistic thing, and that is just to have a simple meal with her family
A
because
very
they
dysfunctional
can't. They
family.
are. We get to see that much later on, um, but um, it's just it's so beautiful, and you are just exquisite in that you are not only just bringing Kimberly fully to this audience, um, but you're bringing more than that because you're bringing a depth for those who are aware, um, a depth of character, and it's beautiful because it doesn't scream anything. It just says, you know, here's this. There are people who fall in love with Kimberly throughout this, and they've said that. They've said that to you, and they've been going with her along the whole way. Um, but for me, it was a moment of time in just two and a
Right.
half hours where I got to experience this lifetime in that short time. And the next thing I wanted to do is see it again because I wanted to experience that again, that moment in time. We don't see her growing up. We don't see it. It's a very short period before her birthday and after. And um,
I think that's why I like shows that are focused on a time
yeah,
instead of shows that try and be episodic.
yes, I do
Um,
too.
because you can learn an awful lot about a relationship if it's only one moment of time.
That's right. Um, we, for those who know Merrily Roll Along, that is a absolutely episodic show that goes backwards in time, and each scene therefore has to have one fine-tuned something that
Right.
has, and it has to, and
Keep moving
um,
backwards. Right.
yeah, and it all has to pretty much relate to one guy in all those different ways. But that's why it's been so difficult always along the way until now to have it show. But that's merely. Um, it then I saw it on Saturday matinee, which was 40 people from Sarasota came,
I think it
and
was 50.
it was there were 30 people who came with Jen Baker, and that was great because they were all sitting kind of behind me and around. It was odd. We were very, very close to curtain getting in. Um, that's called good planning. I had I had I had taken the trip 3 times before that week, had it down pat, and then I didn't turn on my guy who speaks on my GPS. Just had it in front of me, and thinking, well, I know it's 6:18. I just said, go to the, and I talked through that
Oh,
because I was asked a question, and of course about me, and so I talked through it with my car mates, and pretty soon I thought I'm almost at 4. Oh my God, I'm well beyond
oh,
my
you
turn,
go all the way back.
and
Wow.
so I
Yeah.
didn't have to go back. I just had to go on 4 instead, which was just further. It was another 15 minutes.
Mhm.
So we got out of the parking lot at 5 of,
Wow.
and I still had to deliver this package for you that I said, I'll just bring it with me. If they don't let me in, I'll do something with it. I don't know. I don't even know what's in it. So I did that. That's another thing. But I do you have any questions for me as an audience member? Is there anything that,
No, I think you've hit it because it's hard to ask questions about like that because it's a personal experience.
yeah,
And what I was interested in how you perceive the two different. I mean, they weren't different. The show, but so
but they
it's
were
different
different
because
because
your observer, the observer, focuses on different things
I
and
also
living
had two
life.
different actors.
Exactly, that's right.
Um,
Because
um,
our Deborah, when you saw it, was still recovering from bronchitis, so her
right,
understudy was on, and then you
right,
got to see her, our a wonderful Emily come back in.
yes,
And they're both wonderful performances, but they're different,
right.
different takes.
And I got to see your Marcus. I got to see actually Marcus wasn't on either.
That's right.
Marcus was out.
Well,
No, he was on
You
first.
saw Marcus first, and then you got to
Yes,
see Regine, his
right. See,
understudy.
I also
Yeah,
got to see two different Seths,
yeah, right.
and that was really wonderful to see that, and to see the very subtle differences with both characters, both Deborah and Seth, and to see also how you dealt with them that way.
It's
That's,
fun.
yeah.
It's fun because you
Um,
really are in the moment. You
because
know.
it's seamless and
Yeah.
you are, she's attracted to both of them. She's attracted to them, and the relationship with Aunt Deborah is the same.
Right.
Their performances are different, and that's all.
hmm
And I would say different in in volume sometimes, and a different yeah different singing performances a
Right. And
little.
also just the quirkiness of a character.
Yeah,
Everybody has a different quirk.
yeah.
Work that quirk.
Um,
Work that quirk. Yeah.
yeah, as an example, uh, there's a moment where Kimberly yells at her dad in a very, very filled
Explicative
with
way.
expletives for good reason, and
Yeah.
we're all happy she's done that finally.
Well, and she's a
Um,
big deal about them not swearing. Put
right,
money in the swear
exactly.
jar. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the first thing we hear from the family, and here she is, flying up a storm. Um, and then Jessica has given you a beautiful moment in silence before you enter the next scene. Um, and this is a separate moment where we actually know that she's absorbing what just happened and knowing she's going to walk into the school. And it's in Seth's first thing that he says to you that's different with both actors, and it's
Right.
really
The approach,
neither,
right.
neither one is better or worse or anything. It's just a different approach, and um, one of them comes in directly, and the other one takes 1 second to sort of absorb what's going on with you, and then goes into it.
Or how am I supposed to respond?
Right.
Yeah, how do I respond to this? Yeah.
I see this as and they're both totally legitimate, totally beautiful. Because when Marcus does it, it's out of his otherness and his spectrum
Neurodivergency. Yeah.
and neurodivergency, because he's like not necessarily aware of a lot of things going on around him. Um, and when Regine did it, um, I kind of I liked having a difference, just for for me to see a little difference, because there was an absorption for a second about what's going on with you,
Mhm.
and then ask some questions, and it's to me that was for the whole play, that was for the larger play,
Mhm.
because it's a it holds on once more to what's going on with Kimberly, that there's something odd, something that she's still dealing with. And then she gets to turn right around and say, "Oh, no, I'm fine. Everything's okay."
Yeah.
Um, and so her response is the same for both. It doesn't matter. And it's so subtle that both ways of doing that. But I just find it amazing that um, there are those wonderful little subtle things that go on.
And it's also a tribute to the beautiful playwriting
Exactly.
of these characters.
Exactly. Yep. And the direction too, because in both cases, care is taken for that moment.
Mhm.
In one case, it is care of character,
Mhm.
and the other is care of larger play, and neither one is any better.
Mhm. It
They're
just
just
is.
different, just different.
Yeah. And isn't
Uh,
that a wonderful statement about life?
yeah.
You know?
Um,
It,
it's fun.
life is meaningless until we put a meaning to it.
Right,
Everybody has a different meaning to it, which is
right.
great.
Um, I uh, when Sarah came barreling in her entrance. I thought, oh, this is cool. She's just like taking over in the library, and here she is, um, as the understudy, and for Deborah, and is spot on. With her comic timing is great because it's beautifully built in. Again, for David Lindsay Bear has done a wonderful thing about making comedy. Um, it's hilarious. You want a blowjob? Oh,
Oop.
this is
No,
going on.
I don't want a blowjob.
No, no. Um, and then to see Emily, um, Emily Cook, who's been doing this since Broadway. Um, she was an understudy on Broadway as well, uh, and her approach was less, less barely,
Mhm.
and I love that too.
Mhm.
Um, in fact, because I had the other, it was wonderful to see her almost creep her way in. Not really, because she's still loud, but it's less. Um, it, it's very grounded. It's really
Right.
interesting, and they both work so beautifully.
Yeah. That's what's fun.
Um, and what I do like too is when I see sort of a build and a dynamic change and difference. Now, this is all within, the music direction anyway. They all, stay within that. So this is not something new to any understudy that who comes in has to match musically exactly, the dynamics of what's going on, and or at least the everything else that's written and established. Um, but I saw, born out of knowing this song so well, when Emily did better, it starts on a little lower point and builds to this remarkable place, and it's really fun. What I love about you in that that song is that you have nothing to say. We both did that one time on in Anything Goes when I had the benefit of when I Get a Kick Out of You was interpolated into the second act. I was playing Sir Evelyn and you were obviously Reno, and
Obviously,
the
like King Karen.
the director decided let's move it into the scene between the two of them, and all I had to do is sit there and listen to how wonderful you're calling me, that beautiful face. Um, and that was so much fun to be the other person, the silent person on
It
stage.
is. It's very
And
fun.
it was
Yeah.
really a duet. I just got to be a physical duet to the silence.
Well,
And
and you're like the straight man. You get to help guide the audience in
that's right.
where this is going in the storytelling by
Exactly.
just
There's one
being,
moment when I
yeah,
did move away a little bit,
yeah,
and you moved toward me,
yeah,
saying, "Oh no, I didn't mean that."
yeah.
And that was born out of the choreographer because or the stager. We had a choreographer, but we also had the stager, and she was incredible. Um, and but I I love what happens with Kimberly because she's not convinced from the beginning because this is criminal, what is being suggested. Um, and kind of better is more about just grab life by the balls.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes you have to do
and
terrible things, but that's what you need to do.
right.
Yeah.
And but she slowly turns and
Well, she
finally
also have the teens who are actually having a ball
yeah.
playing the backup for this woman,
And I
which
watch her watching them. I
just
watch her
enjoying.
be
I
having
was,
them be backup. And that's what's so beautiful about the staging of you in that song because you're the audience and you get to,
the observer.
well, they're having fun. Okay, well, maybe I'll join that. And
Maybe
she,
I'll join them. And that I think that helps them all become friends later, you know.
yeah,
It's
um,
when we're at our nerdiest that
yeah,
what bonds happen.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that bond has not happened yet with you and the other teens.
Yeah.
Um, and then the last moment is really beautiful too because there are two things going on. It's and Deborah saying, "Here we are, if we could just reach out and out to the world." And I see Kimberly looking out in a very different way. It's a very still way. Again, it's just beautiful. It's like, yeah, but it's not. Life can be better. It's like life is not going to be a whole lot longer. And yeah, it could be better.
Yeah.
And
It's like you and I always tell our actors and our solo artists, play the wonder, not the worry.
that's right.
um, which is such a wonderful philosophy that a lot of my favorite teachers in New York are also we subscribe to. And
Yep.
so for me, it's instead of thinking about, oh, life is so horrible or whatever, it's like, gee, I wonder.
Yeah.
Oh, she just said that. I wonder. So it puts you in that place instead. I think it's much more interesting to
And it's a
explore.
wonderment that
Yeah.
is not born out of wow, yeah,
Hmm.
because it's just a wonderment.
Yeah.
And there's a maturity. It's
There's
just
a
beautiful.
there's
It,
possibilities here. Yeah. Yeah.
it's juxtaposed also with the song, with really what's going on with the song. It's
Yeah.
gigantic at that point. So, um,
We're going to need to wrap up soon because I got to
yeah,
get ready to go to the theater. It's a
right.
matinee day. Is there any last minute things you want to just say
Yeah, I
before we
just
move
want to
on?
tell really quickly. The last time I was with the teens was last week. And
And now
Huckin,
you're talking about the teens that we teach.
I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah, I just
It's
want to
with
be
the
sure.
teens that we
We're
teach
switching
in the
gears now. We're out of
classroom.
Kimberly. We're going
Right,
to Blake.
right. And I had Huck and Kate come in.
Ah, yeah.
I didn't have time for them to really spend a lot of time question and answer, but I placed them at the end of the class because I had a lot to get through with. I needed to see as many beginnings and middles and ends of the pieces that
Solo
my
pieces that they're working on.
14
Right,
students are
right.
doing, and got through almost everyone that I needed to, and that was really great. Um, so, and they were on, as far as I know, they weren't even flummoxed by these adults who were in the room watching. who they'd heard about but didn't really know. And um, I gave them 5 minutes, and so Huck and Kate took over and brought them all into a circle. They sat on the floor and they said, "Would you all sit around with us?" And they asked them questions like, "What do you want to do?
Mm,
What is?" Because Huck and Kate are both in film right now, doing that very much. Huck is doing composing too, and they're both writers, and so we have all those people in my class, um, represented in all those styles, but they gave a lot of different answers, and we know from our students are always made up of scientists and others. They're all in the acting program, but this leads them to really be better citizens. And so it was great to watch them. They had a point. I didn't sit in the circle. I just absorbed
yeah,
and observed it. Wanted them to deal with, and they were just remarkable with these strangers. They just jumped right in and just said what they wanted to, and what they were doing and who they are. Um, and that was the experience that Huck and Kate had.
great,
That
great.
was there.
Well, I'm
It
glad
was,
they got to be there.
yeah,
They have another worldly experience and a love for what you and I do anyway.
yeah,
So that was great.
yeah. That
All
was wonderful.
right. Well, we need to do this more often. In 2 weeks, I'm going to be back in Sarasota for a nice little Christmas break, and I'm looking forward to that because I miss the cat. I miss you terribly,
Right. And
and
we could sit in the same room
we can actually sit in the same room and do
with a
another one of these.
camera on
Yeah,
us
yeah, it'll be
and do an
great.
interview, which would be silly.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, why
but
not? I love
yeah,
you very much. I love
yeah,
all of you
love
out there
you.
watching who are
Yep.
interested, and
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
keep coming up with
We
with
love both
craziness.
of you.
All two of you who
All
watch this.
three of you. So
Okay,
fun.
well, I'll see
Um,
you Christmas then.